Audio now. Looks like our main camera's going to be a little laggy. Just when you hit start, that's when it starts going. Everything was fine before. Shucks. Knights bring that out of their zone to go to the far side. That's cut off out in the neutral zone by Taylor. It's chopped back into the Crusher zone. Put up the near side by Gray, looking for James. James pushes Foth over. Puck goes into the Knight zone. Interference going to be called on the Knights. Number 4. Okay. Maybe. It's weird which camera is not working. The newer camera is the one that's lagging. We're gonna change that up at the intermission, folks. Get a faster camera going. Pressures, get that into the Knight zone. Knights wheel behind their own net, coming over the near side. Gray cuts that off for the Crushers. Comes out to Orfino, though. Orfino coming into the Crusher zone. Tries to go inside Taylor. Taylor holds his ground. Orfino dumps it, and it has to go back to the far corner to pick it up. Get some help from Lehman. Lehman up to Black. Black moves that up the near side. Chopped back out to the neutral zone. Knights get it back. Dumped into the Crusher zone. Utley back to play it. Comes up to Lehman on the near side. Over to Black. Black comes in on the far side. In front for Lehman, that shot. That hits the man in front. Knights get that out to center. Here comes James with it. Sends it to the far side. Stoico walking it in. Low shot. Tied up was... who's the Crusher in front that was tied up? Oh, it's Delaney. Stoico put one right on net. Slight rebound, but the Knights goaltender had covered up before Delaney could get there. Crushers win the zone, or win the face-off the offensive zone. Knights find it in the high slot. They're gonna slide the puck down the ice. Utley moves that up the right side. Comes into the Knights zone, throws that out in front. Knights gonna clear that away. Going out the far side. Chopped into the Crusher zone. Lee sets that up to move down the ice. Delaney on the near side. Slides that over to Stoika. Stoika comes in with a bit of speed, goes to the left, and he's caught from behind by Edwards. Battle for it on the far boards. Here come the Knights. 2-on-1 back the other way. Thrown through the slot. Back to the near side. Reinhardt on the back check. Able to help break that up. Green hands that off to Taylor. Taylor up to Reinhardt. That's tipped into the neutral zone. Taylor picks up the puck for the Crushers on the near side. Rushes into the Knight zone. Low shot. Tried to bank that in off the goalie. It's on top of his pad. Then he covers it up. We got to stop here with 6:20 to go in the first period.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Sorry.
Knights have that on the near side. Oh, Crusher Terrain keeps that in at the line, goes to the far side. Cox hangs onto it. Flips that across. That goes through the slot over to the near side. Put back to the point by DeWalt. Oh, Gray kept it in. And then the Knights get it out to neutral zone. Taylor over to Gray. Gray centering pass. That skips past his intended target. Knights take that. They're going to put it down the ice. Icing waved off. Taylor with it. Reverses back to the far side. Press ice pass by the Crushers. Picked up by Tureen on the right side. Gets that into the zone. Takes that down low. Low shot. Just firing that through the slot again. Burrell comes. Digs deep. Goes behind the net. Puts it back to the point to Gray. Gray hanging on to it. Tries to put that up the board. That's knocked down by the Knights. That's going to end up down the ice. Icing waved off here. Jolicoeur Gagnon goes back for it. He's tracked down behind the net. Battling for it behind the net there. Gray picks it up. Sends it up to Morale. Morale chips it in the right side, goes to Chase. Contends with Smith. Smith's gonna get it. Knights try to stretch that up the ice. It's gonna skip down. Lee. They're gonna wave icing off again. Knights pick it up in the near corner. Looks like we're gonna have a tripping call. Oh, it's hooking. Hooking called on the Knights, number 10. See if a refresh or a reset on that camera is going to work. Fighting with technology today. That is slightly better. Let's see if we can go with it. Pressures, put that in the wide side into the Knight zone. They're on the power play. Knights coming away with it. Taking up the far side of the ice. Dumped around the boards. Utley's going to pick that up for the Crushers on the near side. His lead pass, in front of his intended target, nice and called here with 3:48 to go in the first period. Puck's dropped in the Crushers zone. Knights moved around the far side. Morale picks it up for the Crushers. Hands that off to Reinhardt. Reinhardt coming through with some speed. Comes to the right side. Puck comes off his stick. Taylor follows that up. Thrown out in front. Thrown just wide by Morale, missing that far post. Vidovchenko at the point. Rides it to the right side to Taylor. Taylor's shot wide. Morale can't get to it. Vidovchenko can't get to it, and it's going to come out Crusher's going to have to set up again in the neutral zone. 50 seconds left with the man advantage. Morale picks it up, heads into the zone, tries to come to the near side. Stoika, Reinhardt on the far side. Morale had a wide open net, and the one-timer just off the heel of his stick. He throws it back out in front. Taylor's going to pick that up. Fired to the far side to Reinhardt. Reinhardt over to Stoika. Stoika's one-timer was bouncing, and it comes off the side of the net. Lidovchenko picks it up in the neutral zone on the far side. Here's Taylor with it. Up to Morale. Morale puts that deep in the right side. 20 seconds left in the Crusher power play. Puck out in the neutral zone again. Wilton over to Gray. Up to Black. Black's going to come in the right side. Puck tipped off his stick. That's going to head down the ice. And that will do it for the penalty to Orfino. Knights back to full strength. Green, pick it up on the far side. Shovels that in the neutral zone. James picks it up. James going in hard. Sends it to the far side to Black. Black in front for James. That skips through the slot. Goes to the far side. Green with it. Digs down low. Avoids a check. James tries to center that. That's knocked down. Knights bring it back the other way. 2-on-1. Heading back. Crushers hard on it. They get back on the back check. Shot goes wide. Comes out in the front of the slot. Lee with the save. Goes to the far boards. Put down low. Knights have it through the slot. Going to be cleared away by James. Not out of the zone though. It bounces over to the near boards. Comes loose below the goal line. James and number 91 battling for it. Now it comes back to the point. Shot by the Knights. Hits James. Goes to the far boards. James picks it up. Over to Gray. Gray behind his own net. Getting caught on the near side. He hands that back to Jolicoeur Gagnon. Jolicoeur Gagnon hard up the boards. It's going to come over to Tureen. Tureen with speed coming up the right side. Gets a step in. Spins. Hangs on. Looking for a trailer. Being attacked. James with a low shot. Stick save by number 74 of the Knights. Wow. Got my headset back. Still a little grainy there. Internet is not cooperative here. All right, folks, we're ready to get going on the second period in this championship matchup between the Canada Crushers and the Knights. Knights off the draw, rush into the zone, take a shot on the right side. Far side, sorry, passes over to the near side. Knights with it, walking in again. Hutchison waits just long enough. Now comes over. Morale intercepts that for the Crushers. Tries to wheel it around the far side. He has to put it around the boards to the near side. Here come the Knights. Smith holds that in at the point. Puts it into the near corner. Taylor goes to engage. Morale moving down low. Smith picks that back up at the point again. Here's the shot. Through traffic. Looks like it's loose. It's on the gallant. How come they didn't blow the whistle? He was sitting on it. And Lee will get the stop here with 19:19 left in the second period. Face off will be on the near side in the Crushers zone. Crushers win the draw. They move it behind the net to the far side. Knight's going to intercept it. Battle for it on the boards. The Reinhardt of the Crushers takes a penalty with 18:23 left in the second period. 2 minutes for slashing. Knights move the puck back to the point. Simpson with it. Down the right side. Comes back to Simpson at the point. He hangs on. Moves it down to Boone. Boone back to Simpson. Skips over to the far side to Foth. Foth to Boone. Lehman picks that up. Centering pass right in front. Cleared away by Lidovchenko. Goes to the far side. Wilton tries to dig it out. Knights have the puck again. Cut from behind by Wilton. Lehman is going to hurt that hard off the boards and down the ice. Puck comes onto the stick of Rousey. It's going to come back into the Crushers zone. McLean picks that up on the near side. Put out in front and it's tipped and it's in. The Knights score on the power play with 17:28 left in the first period. We're tied up in this championship final. Rousey, lead pass down the ice, able to connect. They hit the trailer, and the shot goes just to the near side with Lee moving to the far side. Crushers win the draw. Dump the puck into the Knight zone. Knights Rousey moves it to the far side. Kept in, low shot. That's wide of the mark, comes up to the near side. It's going to come out to the neutral zone. Jolicoeur Gagnon with it. Hangs on, pushes to the near side, that's cut off. Had to wait up as the offside was indicating. The Crushers get the puck back. Utley up to Raimund. Raimund has to fall off his stick. Follows it, or Jaliku tries to follow it up. Knights move that in. Here's Edwards into the zone. Knocked off the puck, but he comes to the near boards to retrieve it. Hodgson down to Edwards. Edwards throws that in front, comes back again. Far side, Seaman gets that for the Knights, or Crushers. He's tripped, and here comes Cox down the left side. He flips one off for the leg of Smith. That's going to go out of play. And into the box will be Logan Hodgson, or Lachlan, sorry, Hodgson. Crushers will be on the power play with 16:38 left in the second period. Crushers have the puck off the draw. Taylor, right side to Gray. Gray fires that. That goes just wide. Taylor with it. Near side for Morale. Down low for Peterson Shaw. Peterson Shaw caught in the corner. Hasn't come loose yet. Now it does for Morale. Back to the point to Gray. Gray on the far side. Low shot, tipped in front. It's blocked. Pressures, move that down low, go in front. And Peterson Shaw was tied up, couldn't get the shot off. Knights are gonna get that out to center and then dump it, go for a change. Taylor with it, near side for Morale, up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt comes into the zone, moves inside. Oh, on the backhand, Peterson Shaw had just come in a little too deep. Gray back in his own zone. Over to Taylor. Taylor tried to send that over to Stoika. That was blocked. Gray goes behind his own net, setting the breakout out again. Skips past Taylor. Knights keep that in the zone. Comes over to Reinhardt though. Reinhardt gathers speed, comes left side to Stoika. Stoika into the zone, hangs on. Great side for Reinhardt. Reinhardt took a shot and a save by Rosie. And we're gonna get a whistle here with 15:03 left in this second period. Draw will be on the near side in the Knights zone. 25 seconds left in the penalty to Hudson of the Knights. And we're tied up at 1. Pressures with the puck. Wilton keeps that against the boards to the near side. Reinhardt throws that in front for Stoika. Stoika picks it up behind the net. Hits it up high for Utley. Back to Stoika. Stoika moves that back to Reinhardt, sitting on the line. High shot. That comes off a body, goes to the far boards. Thrown up the middle. Wilton with it. 3 seconds left. And Hodgson's out. Knights have killed off their penalty. Stoika with it. Left side for Reinhardt. Reinhardt hangs on to it. Back to the point to Wilton. Wilton quickly over to Utley. Utley hangs on. Moves that down to Stoika. Back to Utley at the point. There's a low shot that is tipped over to the near side. Wilton pitches in. Rims it around the boards. Sitting behind the net was Reinhardt. Reinhardt picks it up. In front for Stoika. Low shot. Rosie makes the save. And the Knights able to clear the puck out to the neutral zone. Utley comes back for it for the Crushers. Moves that quickly up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt into the zone. Far side, low shot, that's blocked. Lehman wicks up the puck after his shot. Comes back to the point, Gray with it. Goes to the right side, low shot, tipped in front, that bounces just wide over to the near side. Lehman picks it up for the Crushers. Comes back to the point to Jaliku Gagnon. It bounces off his stick, everybody has to come out to reset. Gray is going to dump that in as the last Crusher turns around and heads back into the zone on the forecheck. Picked off by Lehman in the offensive zone, over to James. Oh, what a save by Rosie. Had to be quick on that one after the Knights gave it away in their own zone. Gray picks that up, sends that up to Lehman on the far side. Off to James. James heading towards the net. That shot just wide. It's going to roll up the boards. Comes back for it is Lehman again. Puts that hard off the boards and into the Knight zone. Rosie with it. Flipped up. Knights coming up the near side of the ice. Edwards picks it up on the right side. Sends it back to number 91, McLean. Comes back to the point. There's a shot. Lee with the save. He'll hang on for the whistle here. And we get the stop with 12:46 left in the second period. Crushers get some zone time. A few chances down there. And then the Knights take their turn, rushing it into the near side of the shot. Or sorry, near side of the ice. And a shot from outside the point. Simpson with the puck for the Knights as they win the draw in the offensive zone. Tried to center that. That's going to come up high, and Morale gets that back for the Crushers. Coe picks his pocket, puts it into the Knights zone. Sorry, Crushers zone. Knights dump it into the near side. Lidovchenko picks up the puck for the Crushers. Far side for Wilton. Wilton off the boards and out to the neutral zone. Waiting for it was number 50, Foth. Foth over to Simpson. Chopped back. It's going to go to the far side in the Crushers zone. Picked up by Hodson. Hodson sends that down low. Stepping into it was Reimut. Comes over to the near side. Chipped up. Now comes for Reimut, and he's going to go behind the net and start again. Far side. Crushers try to put that off the boards. Sends it down low again. Near side. Lidovchenko up to Morale, comes out. Crushers will have a chance to move it freely up the ice. Lidovchenko, far side. Crushers put up the near side, pass just out of reach. It comes into the Knights zone. Morale puts the boom on the Knights player, but the Knights keep on moving up the other side. Knights centering pass into the slot, comes over the near side, tapped in. Lee reaches over, makes the save. Puck cleared away by Jolicoeur Gagnon. Hits Morale in stride. Morale coming up the near side, tried to come in the front side. That's going to come out, and Delaney will spin into the zone, but it'll be called offside with 11:12 to go in the second period. These teams tied up at 1. When they met in pool play, the game ended in a 3-3 draw. Very even matchup between the two teams. Crushers win the draw. Jolicoeur Gagnon takes it in his own zone. Up the near side, pass up to Delaney. Seaman, looking for Peterson's shot. It's just out of his reach. Knights try to slap it up the boards, move it over to the near side. Picked up by Smith. Smith up to Orfino. Stolen by Seaman. Seaman goes to the right side. There's a shot. That's off a pad. Goes to the far boards. Here come the Knights out of their zone. Lost the handle. Jolicoeur Gagnon will throw that up in the near side. Picked up by number 8. Dumped into the Crushers zone. Jolicoeur Gagnon with the puck. Trying to move that up the ice. Crushers briefly caught in their own zone. Now Peterson shot moves it up the ice. Goes to the right side. There's a high shot onto Rousey. Rousey has it roll, but he ends up hanging on to it with 10:14 to go in the second period. Draw will be on the far side in the Crusher zone, or in the Knights zone. Puck comes back to the point. Here's Gray with it. That's fired into traffic. Tureen couldn't turn around and fire it into the net. Initially providing the screen, looking for the tip. Set up on the far side in the Knights zone. Crushers win it. Stoika takes that down low. Tried to center that. That's broken up by the Knights, and they're going to rush it out. Turned over at center. Gray puts it up the far side. That's knocked down by number 88 Woods and put into the Crusher zone. Taylor off the near boards looking for Stoika. Couldn't connect. Gray finds that in his own zone. Moves that to the far side. Comes back into the Crusher zone again. Gray throws that across the ice for Taylor to pick up. Up to Stoika. Looking for Reinhardt. Just missed that pass. Knights coming back to the near side. Chip down. Reinhardt gets that into the Knights zone, but quickly taken away by Sinclair. On the far side, Knights coming in the zone. Slap shot. Well wide. Rolls up the boards. Stoika makes sure that gets out of the Crusher zone. Knights have it. Evan Edwards cycles around in his own zone. Pass comes back to Edwards from the far wing. Edwards into the Crusher zone. And on the near side, the Knights were caught offside. Whistle goes with 9:05 to go in the second period. Face off on the far side in the Crusher zone. Just outside the Crusher zone. James tries to move it out the outside. That's blocked. Lehman follows that up. He's going to get that into the Knights side. Hangs on. Back to the point to Lidovchenko. Lidovchenko fires that around the boards. Over to Lehman. Black comes to help, picks it up. Has James in front, can't get it to him. James still drives it away, tries to pound it in. Still loose, and now they're going to blow it down. And we'll have a face-off in the Knight zone. 8:38 left in the second period. Crushers win the draw. They keep the puck in the Knight zone. Up at the point, Lehman has that to Lidovchenko. Lidovchenko to James. In front, Lehman with a shot. Rosie with the save. Puck comes loose. Knight's going to move that. Number 10 to number 8. I think that's Louise or Lucille with it. Throws a shot on. And the Crusher goaltender Lee is gonna smother that with 8:02 to go in the second period. Each team getting their chances. Goalies doing very well thus far in the game. Knights put that down low. It looks like Delaney is gonna end up in the box. It's going to be probably a 2-minute penalty, just waiting for it. 2-minute penalty, boarding called with 7:56 left in the second period. Knights on the power play. They were able to score on the power play earlier in the game. Or were they? Puck comes back to the point. Orfino has that, sends that over to number 8. Orfino with it again. Down low, Utley cuts that off. He's gonna flip that down the ice. Rosie out to play it. Pass up the near side. Lucille will pick that up. Put out in front, in the near side. Gray clears that to safety. Orfino picks that up for the Knights. The net came off. The ref blew it down. And we'll have a face-off on the far side of the Crusher zone. Rosie, guilty of overplaying the puck. He hands it right back to Burrell, sitting in the slot. rips it home, and it's a shorthanded goal for the Knights. They take the lead with 6:46 to go in the second period. Off the draw, the Knights take the puck in their own zone. Crushers are up 2-1. Knights still on the power play. 35 seconds left with the man advantage as they bring the puck into the Crusher zone. McLean with it. Down to number 21. 21 hangs on. Back to the point. Fired into traffic. Reinhardt chips that out. Gets that up to Seaman. Seaman couldn't quite corral it. Here comes the Knights back the other way. Nice shot. Lee with the save. Oh, and it bounces in. Lee with the save, and it just pops up and it's in. Knights have the puck on the near side. Fed out in front. Kicked away. Another chance for the Knights. That's blocked in traffic. Lee with the save. Kicked over to the far side. Go with it. One-time shot. That's going to end up out of play. Hitting the player and going into the spectator netting. Face off will be on the near side. Puck on the near side in the Crusher zone. Knights come in. There's a shot. Kicked away by Lee. Comes off the end boards. Knights throw that in front again. Taylor knocks that away. Taylor kicked it out of the zone. Simpson was able to keep it in. And on the near side, James will end up the box and the Knights go back on the power play. Why am I getting that feedback? Knights win the draw. Move to the far side. Low shot. Lee with the save. And we'll hang on with 5:06 to go in the second period. Face off far side in the Crusher zone. Knights win it, but put the puck on the boards. Coming in the near side, the Knights try to move it back door. Crushers clear the zone. Knights starting on their own side. Delaney steals the puck. Puts it on the far side. Knights pull it away from him off the boards. Outlet to the right side. Luis is going to bring that in. Steps in the slot. There's a shot. Comes over the crossbar. Cleared away to the near boards. Smith with it for the Knights. Down to Fino. Fino to Smith. Right side. That's chopped into the corner. Lidovchenko's going to pick that up behind the net. Sweeps that off the boards. Gets that up to Delaney, who can't get it out. Here come the Knights back in. Fed out in front. Morale was pushing his way in. and moved Rosie out of the way. Crushers were able to clear the puck down the ice again. Knights bringing it back in. Put up the near side. It's cut off. Sinclair keeps that in. Jolicoeur can't get it out. Comes back in. Here's a chance for Utley, and he's going to clear it. And that should pretty much do it for the Crusher penalty. James back on the ice. Crusher Seaman moves that over to Utley. Stoika over to Utley. Utley's going to fire that. Rousey with the save. Jolicoeur Gagnon comes on the near side. Come on. There we go. Knights feed that in front. Cleared away by Taylor. It's behind the Crusher's net. Spills to the far side. Stoika with it. Up to Treen. Treen tried to leave that for Reinhardt. That was caught by number 9. But Stoika is going to bring that in the far side. Stoika hanging on to it. Up the boards to Taylor. Taylor feeds that in the slot. Tipped in front. Doesn't make it to Rousey. Battle for it. Comes loose. Here's Stoika. Down to Reinhardt. Reinhardt tried to move that back to Stoika. Louise read that. Throws that on the near boards. Peeling off was Edwards. He can't get out of the zone. Taylor keeps that in the near side. Simpson can't get it around Gray on the far side. Second attempt does get it out. Taylor with it. Up the boards for Treen. He comes across Simpson. Treen over, looking for Black. Can't get to him. Shot by Reinhardt. That hit Rosie. Rosie makes the save. Reinhardt picks up the rebound on the far side. Down low for Black. Back to Reinhardt. Reinhardt with the backhand flips that on to Rosie, and he'll make the stop here with 1:09 to go in the second period. Puck's dropped. Crushers come away with it. Layman. One with that back to Wilton. That was intercepted. Orfino coming in. There's a shot. Lee with the save, and he'll cover this up and get the stop with 52 seconds to go in the second period. Puck's dropped. Crushers win it. It's in the far side. Utley with it. Flips that behind the net to Wilton. Wilton up to Black. Black puts the pass off the backside of James. Knights move it back in. Knights come in. Low shot. Lee with the save. Rebound. Put to the far corner. Utley with it. Up to Lehman. Lehman looking for Black. That's knocked down. Black comes back. Gets the puck back, though, for the Crushers. Comes in the far side. Stepping in. Hangs on into the slot. Low shot. Rosie with the save. Lehman couldn't quite catch up to it. 15 seconds to go in the period. Pass from Black to Lehman. Lehman with it. Back to the point. Wilton. Far side. There's a shot in front. Oh, and the rebound's going to come over to the near side. That's going to be slid down the ice. He's not going to catch up to it. And the buzzer goes here on the second period. And we are tied up at 2 in this championship final of the 2026 Crusher Cup. We're gonna let the Zamboni do its work here, folks. Take a break and see if I can get this camera to work. Huh. All right, folks, we're back here for the third period. Oh, not that button. There we go. Championship game of the Crusher Cup. Puck goes into the Knights zone. Crushers try to center that. Knights throw that to the outside. Knights coming up the far side and into the Crusher zone. Turn around. Chipped up. Hodgson with the shot. That is wide. Coming out the far side. Reverse back to the near side by Jolicoeur Gagnon. Thrown up the middle. It comes to Reinhardt. Reinhardt coming into the zone. Makes the move to the outside. Gets the puck back. Puck goes into the far corner. Morale picks it up. Gets it to Reinhardt. And chips that back to Morale. Morale dances. Lost the handle of the puck. Picked up by Ofino. Ofino lost it too and heads back into the Knight zone. Corgana moves that far side. Now it comes back to the near side. Brose gets that in. Puck taken away by Wilton. Wilton gets that back to Lidovchenko. Chopped up Morale. Morale to Parker Peterson Shaw. And Tureen is caught offside. Couldn't hold. And we have an offside call with 18:39 to go in the third period. Draw will be just in front of the Knights bench. Puck goes back to Taylor. Over to Gray. Gray comes in the right side. In front. Oh, and Peterson Shaw can get the stick on it. Taylor picks it up. That's fired high. Blocker save by Rousey. Comes back over to the near side. He's wearing 74. Maybe it isn't Rousey. Puck put up the near boards. Thrown out to Orfino. Orfino rushing up the left side. There's a shot. Blocker save by Lee. Orfino picks up the rebound. Taylor engages him in the corner. Comes loose for Peterson Shaw. Up the near side, Morale. Morale comes in. Chips it around the D. Takes it down low. Cycles to the far side. Morale with it. Fired down low. James picks it up for the Crushers. Here's Peterson Shaw. Cycles over there. Jolicoeur Gagnon, pardon me. Cycles all the way around. Sends that to the far side. Picked up by Seaman. Seaman back to Jolicoeur Gagnon at the point. That's fired. Hit a stick. Here comes the Knights back the other way. Far side. Utley steps into the attacking Knight. Crushers get that out of the zone. Foth tries to put it around Lehman. Lehman knocks it down. Seaman picks it up at center. Seaman comes in. There's a shot through traffic sent to the far side. Centering pass. Here comes the Knights. Simpson loses his stick. Puck picked up by Utley. Utley over to Seaman. Seaman chips that in the far side. Coe's going to pick that up for the Knights. Coe coming through. Comes to the outside. There's a shot. Lee with the save. Knights pick it back up. Comes out to the neutral zone. Seaman gets that. Throws that towards the Knights bench. McLean over to Hudson on the near side. Corrigan moves it to the far corner of the Crusher zone. Oh, it's turned over. And quickly Lidovchenko moves that back to the point. Near side. Knights. Number 7 Smith takes tumble, moves the puck behind the boards. Puck comes out to the neutral zone though. Reimann trying to pick it up. That's cut off by Orfino. Orfino goes in, low shot. Lee with the save. Comes over in the near side for Louise. Corriganis fired that right into Louise. Louise picks it up, walks it into the slot, and then he's turned around. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Woods with it. Over to Sinclair. Back to Woods. Orfino on the near side. Here comes Orfino. There's a shot right into the mitt of Lee. And Lee will hang on with 15:03 to go in the third period. Draw will be on the near side in the Crusher zone. Puck moved around to the far side. It's in the Crusher zone. Reinhardt comes back for it. Flips that to the outside to Gray. Gray back to Reinhardt. Reinhardt strike on the left side. Striker. There's a shot right on to the goaltender. And he's going to make the stop here with 14:43 left in the third period. Draw one by the Knights. They move it around to the near side. Puck comes out. Center. Knights still marching it in. Low on Lee. Lee makes the paddle save and gets it over to Taylor. Knights trying to dig it out behind his that Taylor's going to take, or sorry, that was Reinhardt trying to take it out for the Crushers. He's caught on the near side. Puck goes to the far side. Whoa, turned around quickly. And the save on Lee. Lee's going to hang on to that. Face-off will be on the far side in the Crusher zone. Flipped up the boards. Tureen with it. Flips that to the wide side. Morale tries to chip that forward. That's knocked down by Smith. Coming away with it. Peterson Shaw. Peterson Shaw steps in. Drops that back for Tureen. Tureen, there's a high shot. Near side. Oh. And as it gets over to the far side. High check. Comes off the far side. Tureen with it. Flipped in. And Rousey's going to step out and cover that up with 13:10 to go in the third period. Knights win the draw. Spilled to the far side, picked up by Orfino. He dumps that into the Crusher zone. Lee out to play it. Sets that up for Wilton. Wilton puts that off the boards to the near side for Seaman. Seaman chops that down. It's going to roll into the Knight zone. Orfino back to play it. Lehman takes him into the boards. Comes loose. Seaman comes in to help. Woods goes to the far side, picking up the puck. Cut up by Lidovchenko. He's going to cycle it down. Woods pinches him off on the boards. Picked up by Brosey. Takes that up the ice for the Knights. Louise with it. Steps into the offensive zone. Now it comes over to the near side. Lehman with it for the Crushers. Throws that off the glass. Knocked down by Bros. Stays in the Crusher zone. Lehman now takes it away from him. Flip to the wide side. Simpson is going to grab that for the Knights. Throw that up the middle. That's cut off by Wilton. Wilton waits for it at the blue line. And now goes in. Drops that back for Seaman. Seaman takes that and he lost control. Goes into the near side. Foth uses the boards. Puts it around to the far side. Beat there by Delaney. Shot by Taylor. Comes off the backside of the net. Covered up by Rosie. And we're going to stop with 11:46 to go in the third period. This championship final of the Crusher Cup in 2026. Draw will be on the far side in the night zone. Crushers win it. Back to the point for Gray. Gray flips it up the far boards. Knocked down by Coe. Moved up to center now. Wide. Pass to Hodgson. Put out in front. Coe with a shot. Lee with the save. Knights still have it. Turn fired. Lee with another save. Followed up. And Coe is going to put that in. Finds the rebound. And that's into the back of the net. And the Knights gain the lead with 11:28 to go in the third period.
Let's go, Rink! More of that!
Puck goes into the Knight zone. Smith trying to battle it behind the net. Crushers pick it up in front, back with a low pad. Oh, yeah. Oh, and a headshot. It was a cross check after the whistle. Ref looks like you're going to let it go. Crushers win it. Stoica with a shot. Dropped down low. Rebound goes to the far corner. Swept there by the Knights. Back check by the Crushers. Works out. Crushers in transition. Move it up the ice. Looking for Reinhardt. That doesn't work. Atley with it. Knights get that back at center. Put that up the near side. It's dumped into the Crusher zone. Knights regain possession in the Crusher zone now. Flip it into the far corner. Jolicoeur Gagnon's going to pick that up for the Crushers. Moves that over to Black. Black puts it up the boards to Reinhardt. Reinhardt tracked down on the near side. Comes back to Utley. Utley looking for Stoica. Chip to the far side. Puck put into the Knights or the Crusher zone. Utley with it. Up to Tureen. Sends that over to Reinhardt. Reinhardt coming in. There's a shot. Oh, tipped just wide. Followed up by Wilton. Low shot. Fired in and again. That stays out. Knights move that to the near side. Sent to the far side. Knights tip that into the Crusher zone. Picked up by Tureen. Tureen coming up the right side. Flipped around the boards. That's going to come out to neutral zone. Rushed in by number 9 of the Knights. Thrown in the slot. Broken up by the Crushers. Taylor with it. Blocker save by Lee. He's going to cover that up. Puck in the Knight zone. Crushers trying to drive the lane. That's going to come up high. Here come the Knights back the other way. Low shot. Lee with the save. Cleared away by the Crushers. Taylor. Taylor starts off the far side. Moves it up looking for Peterson's shot. It skips. Picked up by number 7 of the Knights, Smith. Put down low in the Crushers zone. Peterson shot. Over to Stoika. Stoika flips that high off. Comes out. Black's going to pick that up on the far side. Black coming in. There's a shot right into the midsection of Rosie. And we'll get a stop here with 7:46 left in the third period. Face off. Won by the Knights, but the Crushers steal it back. Swept over to the near side. Stoika back to the point. Utley, that's fired. Blue Rees makes the stop. Puck comes out. Knights have that. They're rushing that up the ice. Comes over to Reinhardt. Reinhardt on the near side. Drops that back for Black. Black tries to drag that into the slot. It's poked off his stick. Knights come back the other way with it. Brose puts that to the far side. Lee picks it up. Over to Wilton. Wilton up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt moves that back to Utley. Up to Reinhardt. Rollheiser keeps that in the zone. Low shot by Brown. And Lee will make the stop here. Face off won by the Knights. Shot fired wide. Put to the far side. Crushers moving it up the ice. Put into the Knight zone. Crushers James picks it up on the near wall. Fired down low. Tipped in front, doesn't make it to the goal. Bounces out to the neutral zone. Hodgson has that on the near side. Centering pass. That comes on to Lee. Made the save. They're going to come away with it. James moves that up the far side. Flips that to Lehman. Rolls into the near corner. Lehman comes to James. Back to the point to Utley. Utley hangs on. Low shot. That just wide in the mark. Put out high for Treen. He can't catch up to it. Puck comes into the neutral zone. Utley comes on the right side. High shot. And Rouse is going to make the save. Face-off won by the Knights. Put down low. Comes out to neutral zone. Seaman with it. Over to Lidovchenko. Moved up to Reimat. Gets that into the zone, but the Knights are going to send that back. And there'll be an icing call with 5:12 left in the third period. Draw one by the Crushers to take a shot, but the Knights knock it down. Send it down the ice again. This will be another icing call. Face off, won by the Crushers. Put to the far side by Taylor. Morale comes in. Near side for Gray. In front, Peterson shot tips it, but Rousey makes the save. Face off won by the Crushers. Shot. It's knocked down in front. Tried to shovel that in front. Comes in front. Rousey's going to make another stop. Whistle goes here with 4:41 to go in the third period. Crushers with the puck again. Wilton dumps that down low, looking for Reinhardt. Reinhardt fits that back. There's a shot! Hey! Stoika scored for the Crushers! Crushers even it up with 4:32 to go in the third period. We're tied up at 3. Crushers tie it up late in the third period here. We got a game on our hands. Put to the near side, comes out to the neutral zone. Knights have that. That's blocked, comes in. Wilton to the far side to Utley. Utley. Cross ice pass, look for Stoika. It's going to skip past him. Icing called here with 4:16 to go in the third period. Face off one by the Crushers. Crushers put that to the far side. Gray to Morale. Morale's going to wheel that through the zone. Now he goes to the far side again. Hanging on. Put out in front. Kicked away by Rousey. Knights bring it out the far side. Co trying to take that down low. Fed out in front. Bounces over to the near side. Coming away with it is Taylor. Far side for Morale. Morale coming in the zone. Checked going into the corner. Puck's going to come loose to the near boards. Hodgson gets that out to the neutral zone. Gray knocks it down for the Crushers. Over to Taylor. Back to Gray. Gray to Peterson Shaw. He's going to walk into the zone. Hangs on to it. Eats it up in the corner. Puck comes over to Lehman. Lehman with it. Hanging on. There's a shot. That bounces through traffic over to the near side. Stretch down the ice. Wilton breaks that up. Lee moves that to the far side. Back to James. James hauled down in his own zone. Goes down low. Wilton comes away with it. Up to Delaney. Moves that all the way down the ice to Lehman. Lehman has James coming with him. Can't see him. Turned around the other way. Brown with it for the Knights. Comes into the Crusher zone. There's a shot. Blocked in front. Comes over the near side. Put off the boards and back down the ice. Rousey out to play it. No, comes over. Broken up in the zone. Goes back into the corner. Smith picks it up for the Knights. Gray pinches in. Gray with it. Sends that down low. It's going to roll all the way to the boards to the far side. Taylor keeps that in. Knights pick it up. Knights 2-on-1 coming back the other way. Low shot. Reinhardt scores on the breakaway, and the Crushers are up 4-3. 1:37 to go in your third period. It's going to be an icing call here, I guess. Face off. The Knights have just tied it. All right, we are going to overtime. The Knights scored with 15 seconds left in the game to tie it back up at 4. And we play 3-on-3 for the next 3 minutes. And then I believe we head into a shootout, just like last night's game for the Crushers. Knights win the draw. Put it up the near side. Coe trying to make it towards the boards. Pushed off. Wilton comes away with it. Wilton has no help. He's going to hang on to it. Wilton behind the net. Tried to center that. That's knocked down. Here comes Coe back the other way. Coe taking it down low against Lee. That was put wide. Put out to the neutral zone. Knights with it. Still in overtime here. Coming over the near side is Orfino. Orfino tried to put that out in front. That was blocked by Wilton. Comes back to Orfino. Orfino still with it. Put down low. McLean over to Orfino. Back to McLean. That's broken up by Wilton. Back to the point to Smith. Far side for Orfino. Put down low. Pinned against the boards. Almost up by Stoika. Orfino moving it down low. Back. Smith. McLean. Back in front. Baruch. All right, there's a save there by Lee. And the stop comes with 1:27 to go in overtime. Draw won by the Crushers. Far side, Morale. Oh, and it's out. It stays out. Knights bringing it back the other way. Out of reach for Rosie. Utley's going to pick that up. Utley has Morale on the near side. Morale's coming in. Utley coming down the right side. Morale with the puck. Hangs on. Trailer. James. James with it. Smoots it in. There's the shot. Oh, it's a save. And the nets come off. And we get a whistle behind the play. 48 seconds left in overtime. And fresh bodies will be coming on the ice. Wilton steps back on. Treen on the far side. And Reinhardt for the Crushers. For the Knights Co. I think it's Smith and Arfino. Knights starting it off. Co coming into the zone. Drops that back. There's a shot. Blocked. Treen with it. Up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt has Wilton on the left side. Reinhardt. Wilton scores! And the Canada Crushers have won the Crusher Cup! Way to go, Crushers! What a battle in this game! The Crushers take the 2026 Crusher Cup. They are winners with their title tournament. What a battle they had. Overtime in the semifinals and overtime in the championship final. Whoa, standing on his head in the game was Lee. Kids had such a great tournament. Way to go, Canada Crushers. Hats off to the Knights. I'm getting reports now that actually both goalies were down. They had a substitute, and even though I was calling Rousey, it was just a number 74. Lining up to do the handshakes. And what a battle we had here, folks, here at Kinsmen Twin Arenas. Starting off the scoring in the first period, it was Lannon James with the helper from Rowan Wilton. And then the Knights answered in the second. Goal from Tyson Edwards, helpers from Carter Rollheiser and Maverick McLean. Crushers score again. Riker Morale put them back up. Number 4, Carter Simpson, player of the game for the Knights. Rowan Wilton, your OT winner. He's player of the game for scoring the OT winner. Back to my scoring summary. So the Knights then answered. So it was 2-2 at the end of the second. We get into the third period. And third period's not updated on my website. So it was it was the Knights who scored, and then the Crushers scored twice, and then the Knights even it up late in the third period to send it to overtime. And finally, it was the Crushers with the help of Rowan Wilton putting that into the back of the net. And they take the 2026 Crusher Cup. Fantastic job, team. Out comes the cup. Alex Reinhardt, Rowan Wilton, and Parker Peterson Shaw elected to receive the cup for the Canada Crushers. All right. Sorry about all the streaming trouble here this weekend here, folks. They would not allow me access to the Wi-Fi at Kinsmen, so everything you watched was on our mobile data. Had to juice it up a little today to get this on the computer. The other days were on the cell phone. But that doesn't matter. What matters are the smiles of the kids on the ice right now. Your tournament champions, the Canada Crushers. All right. That's going to do it for us here this weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Working the camera was Larry Bykowski. My name's Curtis Bykowski. We'll see you in Regina, unless we have some exhibition games beforehand. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Have a great day.